Thank you for stopping by today on the Black Veteran channel. On this channel, I will discuss different things from the military, the world, employment, and sports through the eyes of a black veteran. So take a minute to like or subscribe while we uncover or shine a light on our culture from the perspective of a black veteran. Thank you for joining my channel today. As you see by the title, I'm going to talk about Mr. J. Morrison. This is the self-proclaimed from a state expert, mogul, and don't forget the bragging 3-time felon. Now he currently is the CEO of Tulsa Real Estate Fund, yes. The same fund that has been losing money every year. Yes, the same fund that started off with $11.5 million, and now he's down to what he stated is under $500,000 in 5 years. And before you start yelling, hey, did you even invest? Yes, I am an investor. Yes, I invested in the very beginning. And to use his terms, to be specific, it was above $10,000. A little background: I invested because I believed in his vision, I believed in the dream, and I believe in the group economics that he quotes. And I read the book Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. So yes, I knew that it was his first time, but I was foolish enough to believe he would reach out to other people who has experience in managing a fund to work with him now. According to him, he's been a real estate expert, wholesaling developer for well over 10 years. So I thought that part would be easier for him. And boy, was I wrong. But what I'm going to do is get into this video. I got the original video from Jullien Gordon. He's also an investor in a real estate fund. He was a top investor, over $40,000. He did a breakdown on this, and some of the things that he's going to talk about will be a certain property. I'm just going to focus on the certain property. I may make another video that talks about the other things, but this certain property, which is 3900 Mooney Drive and South Fulton, Georgia. Now with this property originally, he stated Tulsa Real Estate Fund purchased this property as an investment. He even put that on the SEC filing. But once we look into the actual documents from the state of Georgia, legal documents from the state of Georgia, and if you're not experienced, or if you are experienced with real estate, you know, when you buy a property and get it deeded and titled, is recorded at the registrar's office, or who purchased it, whether it's a person, whether it's entity or LLC or corporation, it is recorded to have ownership. And once we look into this, we see it was purchased by LLC, but then we look at who owns the LLC. You would think, oh, Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Well, we were wrong. But I'm going to let Jullien go in a little detail, but I'm going to chime in to go over what I see and what I saw, and some things that I would like to talk about and go over to you. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Hey everyone, it's Jullien Gordon again. I just want to say thank you for everybody who helped on social media to attract and galvanize as many investors as possible. We've been able to apply a lot of pressure to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and even to the SEC to get the ball rolling, and we did get a response, and so I just want to say thank you. So claim number 1, 3900 Mooney, okay? Jay Morrison used trust funds to buy his personal residence in cash at 3900 Mooney Road, South Fulton, Georgia, 30349, masked through anonymous LLCs, and then refinancing that residence, potentially using trust funds at an undisclosed interest rate, which suggests fraud for financial or personal gain. Violation of fiduciary duty by not disclosing his personal interest in this transaction, like he did properly on 862 and 875, but he did not do it here. And so he knows what is right, but in this transaction, he did not do right. And bad faith, intent to deceive based on the definitions above, okay? The property that is in question, everybody, is 6 West 1 and 6 West 2. Notice that on the Tulsa Real Estate Fund site, this is the only property on the website that has no address listed, okay? See, there are addresses on all of these videos except for what? This one right here. Why? Because I don't want to disclose my personal residence. It's the only one that does not have an address. The official addresses for 6 West 1 and 6 West 2 are 3878 Mooney and 3900 Mooney, or the other way around. I don't know how internally they chose to name them, okay? So that's a first key. In this video, Jay Morrison calls it an assemblage of 32 acres, when in fact the fund only owns about 5 acres next door to Jay Morrison's 25-acre estate. It's not just a house, it's an estate with acreage, okay? okay? And what the fund, so in this video, it makes it look like the fund acquired 32 acres for $150,000. That is not true, and I'm going to show you evidence of that in this presentation. The fund's 5 acres are at 3878 DeMooney, and you can see that on the Fulton County Assessor's website right here. This blue area is what the fund owns. You see Tulsa Real Estate Fund LLC right here. That's what the fund owns, okay? Jay Morrison's 25 acres are at 3900 DeMooney. This is his estate right here, okay? Morrison Jermaine Dyshawn, okay? That is his estate right there, okay? And on Zillow, you can see $850,000. And then the fund acquired this for the $150,000. So this was a $1 million transaction. All right. Again, you can go to the Fulton County Assessor's website, type in those addresses, and see this information for yourself. All right. If you're still questioning whether this is his primary residence, watch this. First, you can see a screenshot from his Instagram of his daughter on the land with the caption, "When your baby's backyard is 27 acres of farmland." So this is the screenshot captured by Follow the Paperwork. That is Jay's daughter. When your baby's backyard is 27 acres of farmland. And you see this green house right here with this white shed, with this white roof. It is all, and this is his Instagram right here. That same green house with the white shed, with the white roof is right here, okay? So she was standing around here in that picture, all right?
Now, did you catch that? Excuse me? The 3,900 money he stated was purchased with trust funds as a part of a 32 acreage portfolio one, but it was sectioned off, and different purchases. One was 150,000, which was land. The other one was 850,000, and that was a 30 or 27 acres. Plus, it also had a residence on there, so I'm about to let you see exactly what Jay Morrison had to say about that.
So question, South Fulton Rental Group LLC is anonymous, started in New Mexico on August 4th of 2022. Do you, meaning me, do I, have ownership stake in South Fulton Rental Group LLC? Yes, I do. Tulsa Fund, our fund. Our family property, which was acquired by South Fulton Rental Group.
So listen up. Did you catch that he stated that the property was originally purchased through traffic, which was 3,900 DeMooney Dr. S. Fulton. Then it was sold to OS Mexico LLC. That only he has ownership of that, was to purchase that land with the property on it for him and his family. Again, this is what he's saying now. He's also talking about these rights to develop you're gonna see a little later. Where these lifetime rights to develop, but if Tulsa was to develop this land that he has ownership in, he will profit off of that land. If he ever was to sell, it's his land. So how in the world is this ethical that you purchase something for the fun traffic investors, but you flip it in about a year to yourself without letting us know? We had to find it online, or, I should say, Jullien, as was Pocket Watcher, with JT, found it online and had to bring it to us. He didn't disclose this, and that's one of the biggest issues as investors in this fund. If you're going to do something like that, you need to disclose it, especially if it seems like there's a conflict of interest, but he keeps saying what he has. But we're going to look at some of these legal documents from the state register's office, and that purchase, he's saying that he did. There's no evidence of it, no evidence that it was purchased for the amount he's seen, no evidence. He's just going to supply. Well, I'm going to let you see that. He's going to supply some half of a document or half of proof. I should say half of proof. He saw the purchase agreement. I can write a purchase agreement. I write a purchase agreement if it's not recorded. I mean, it didn't happen, so... But we're going to get into that a little later on, but just this guy's a mess, and whoever still support him, like Dr. Boyce Watkins, the finance PhD. But he don't look at the numbers. Oh, it's a mess, it's a whole mess. And I'm telling you, this guy will be on American greed.
Now, on to how he hid this transaction from investors, even though he was supposed to disclose this according to the company's agreement. Remember, the agreement said the manager must not make any untrue statements to its members and must not omit disclosing any material facts to the members. The manager has a further duty to disclose conflicts of interest that may exist between the interests of the manager and its affiliates and in the interest of the company or any of the individual members. So this clearly violates the fiduciary duty of the manager. After reading through the SEC filings, I have not seen any disclosure of this material fact or conflict of interest that Jay Morrison used TREF funds to acquire his primary residence. He looked directly into the camera and omitted, okay, and this says must not omit, omitted this material fact that I, Jay Morrison, purchased my primary residence or home with the fund's money. On July 27, 2022, TREF purchased 3878 DeMooney, the 5-acre lot, for $150,000. And you can see that right here. Tulsa Real Estate Fund, LLC, July 27th, 2022, $150,000. Okay, you see that? What about the other lot? On July 27th, 2022, the same day, 3900 DeMooney LLC. DeMooney LLC purchased the 25-acre property with the house on it. That's $1 million in total, but the SEC documents only show $960,000, and the SEC documents state that the company, TREF, invested the $960,000, not another entity, right? And so here you have the $850,000 transaction, okay? And this transaction, Jay currently owns that property personally, but you'll see, I'll walk through these 3 transactions right here. This one right here is when Chang, Chen, Chu, Leo, okay, and such actually sold the property. The grantor sold the property to the grantee, 3900 DeMooney LLC, okay? In the same Form 1SA filed on July 24, 2023, it states that there are these are wholly owned subsidiaries owned by the company, okay? So does TREF own 3900 DeMooney LLC, right? If TREF LLC purchased the 5-acre lot, who is the entity, who owns the entity that purchased the other lot, okay?
Did you buy 3900 DeMooney, South Fulton, on July 27th, 2022 for $850,000 through 3900 DeMooney LLC? No, I didn't. The fund purchased the property. In July, family, of July 27th of 2022, the fund 100% purchased through the subsidiary 3900 DeMooney LLC, purchased 32 acres of land near 12 miles from here and near the 6 West development. It was not me. The fund did.
So as you can see, these are the subsidiaries of TREF, okay? TREF Legacy Center LLC, JM Rep 28 LLC, and Legacy Spaces LLC. 3900 DeMooney LLC is not listed as a subsidiary. So TREF actually did not purchase, okay, from a ownership standpoint, but from a monetary standpoint, the money may have come from TREF to purchase this, and you'll see why in just a second.
No, I didn't. The fund purchased the property. The fund 100% purchased through the subsidiary 3900 DeMooney LLC, purchased 32 acres of land.
So who owns 3900 DeMooney LLC? Of course, none other than Jay Morrison, based on the articles of incorporation below, where he is listed as the registered agent and the manager, okay? And you can go to the state of Georgia, Treasury, and actually go do the search yourself, okay? And so I'm gonna pull up that image, state of Georgia, 3900 DeMooney LLC, okay? That's the certificate of organization. And here's the business name right here. Organizer, Jay Morrison. Manager, Jay Morrison.
It was not me. The fund did.
So the SEC documents say that TREF put the $960,000 in to buy these properties. But the assessor's website says 2 different things. That TREF bought the 5-acre lot, and that Jay Morrison, through 3900 DeMooney LLC, actually bought the other lot. But where did all the money come from? Did it come from Jay Morrison in cash? Did the $850,000 come from Jay Morrison in cash? And if it did, why is it saying that TREF, okay? Why is it saying that TREF made the purchase of $960,000? All right? Are you starting to see where it's getting convoluted? To test if this was just a mistake, let's look at Treff Legacy Center LLC's and Legacy Spaces LLC's articles of incorporation and see who the organizer is. In both cases, it is the Tulsa Real Estate Fund LLC, not Jay Morrison, the individual.
No, I didn't. The fund purchased the property.
None other than Jay Morrison, based on the articles of incorporation below, where he is listed as the registered agent and the manager. Okay, and you can go to the state of Georgia, Treasury, and actually go do the search yourself. Okay, and so I'm gonna pull up that image. State of Georgia, 3900 DeMooney LLC. Okay, that's the certificate of organization, and here is the business name right here. Organizer Jay Morrison.
Now, did you catch what he just said? The 39,000 DeMooney Drive is not only is it not registered in the LLC for Treff or any other companies that Treff owns, it's actually listed with 0, the Mooney LLC, which the registered agent is Jullien Morrison, and then the organizer, Jullien Morrison, organizer, and also the manager, Jullien Morrison. So when Jay keeps saying that no, Treff owns it, Treff owns it. Where? Treff don't even own the LLC. Jullien Morrison owns the LLC, and see, this is how he gets slick with words and how he says specific words because words matter. What did he keep saying? He keeps saying that Treff. Now when he keeps saying that Treff purchased it. Now according to what he said on the SEC, Treff may have provided the funds to purchase it. The money came from Treff, but the actual ownership and what's on paper is registered with the state of Georgia, the DeMooney LLC. Now people will say, well, again, he could have owned it or Treff could have owned it, but didn't want, if something was to happen legally, it didn't want to have all the other companies that's owned by Treff liable. But if Treff just owned this LLC, that wouldn't have happened. And as you see up here, when he purchased the vacant land, Treff is right there. So, to me, and to a lot of other people, it looks like he planned this. It's from the start. He planned it from the start. It wasn't something that popped up in his head. Oh, we can do this. As he keeps saying, give Treff money back. Or, in the best interest of the fund. It doesn't look that way. It looked like from the very beginning, because look at the dates. Look at the date. What's that? 27 July 22. It's the same date. But some reason it's different LLCs. So it seemed to me that something is going on fishy here. So this is why this is an issue.
So this isn't an error, okay? So the two wholly owned LLCs owned by Treff, okay? You can see that Treff LLC is the organizer. That is for Treff Legacy Center LLC. And then for Legacy Spaces LLC, Treff again is the organizer, not Jay Morrison. So this was not a mistake, family. So Jay Morrison is the organizer and manager of 3900 DeMooney LLC. And it is likely that he used Treff funds to buy 3900 DeMooney Road in South Fulton or College Park, Georgia at 30349, which is the 25 acres with the house, with 3900 DeMooney LLC. Okay? So we would like to see a paper trail of that. Who actually wired the money to the Asian family that sold the two lots? Who wired that money? Was it Treff or did it come directly from Jay Morrison? Now, to hide this, Jay then deeded the property to South Fulton Rentals Group LLC, which is an anonymous LLC started in New Mexico on August 4th, 2022 for $0 on August 19th, 2022.
Let's get into this further. Let's let Jullien break it down.
It is highly likely that Jay Morrison owns South Fulton Rental Group LLC. Okay? It is anonymous LLC, so that means you cannot track the individual who actually owns it, but it is likely that Jay Morrison owns it. This is why he incorporated it in New Mexico. And here are the incorporation documents for South Fulton Rentals Group LLC in New Mexico. But New Mexico has anonymity. All right?
As you can see, this was purchased, or deeded out, I should say, to South Fulton Realtor Groups LLC. And unlike Georgia, this LLC was created in New Mexico. That has that, like Jullien said, has autonomy, where you cannot find out who's the owner, I believe. New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming, Connecticut. It could be a couple more out there, I'm not sure. But Georgia, you can find out who owns it. In New Mexico, you cannot. So why didn't he just create it in Georgia? Why is this shuffle game with all these different LLCs once you already have 3? All ready for traffic, why not just put in one of those 3? I have one of those 3 on. It's just interesting. If he's saying that Trump did not purchase his primary property, he was trying to hide it, and I'm gonna show you we're actually doing it. The week town hall meeting. Jay admitted that he owns this LLC. So hold on. Let me show you what I mean. I just want you to know, did you hear what he just said? So pretty much he admitted that yes, he purchased it in the New Mexico LLC. And what month was that? That was in August. So a month later. So in his think about this for a quick second. The property was originally purchased in July 22, and then less than a month later he sold it to himself. Let me say, not sold, he keeps saying so, but quit, claim, deeded to himself, and, August less than a month later. So did he already have in mind, this is gonna be his home? Because that was pretty quick, that was pretty fast. That was fast, less than a month. Boom, you purchased it again. A lot of closings don't take that long unless you really was already planning on doing this. So he's already planning on doing this. So he was trying to hide it, because if that's the case.
So it talked about Demuni, yes, or South Fulton Rental Group. I also want to underscore the merits of this transaction, which I just said, right? The funds gains, $25,000, et cetera, of this prime real estate, just 10 miles from the airport in this major development. So there was a question, Jay, why the New Mexico LLC was formed, right? Why New Mexico LLC was formed? Mexico chiefly is a matter of tax strategy, but also for security. So to explain to you, as a fund manager and for my family being victims of harassment, victims of just what most of you guys know, and even threats at our home. We have multiple documented threats, death threats on my wife, death threats on our child, death threats on me. So for family security and safety reasons, our property address had anonymity.
Oh man, this is for secrecy. Let me show you something. Right, quick, that doesn't make sense. That's what he said. Right, for secrecy. Right, that was his words. Let me repeat this, I'll show you.
Our property address had anonymity.
You see, he said for legitimate security reasons. That's what he said. So that was in August, so. Let me ask you this question, why in May? So that was approximately about 9 months later. Now, you want to put it in your name, really? So now you're safe. You're safe now. You just said 2 years ago your life. And everybody was threatening your family, and yeah, your life should have been threatening your family. Life number 3. I understand that. Get security guards, get alarms, get a firearm cameras, I mean, you can do that. But you decide to purchase the property, put it in your name 9 months later. So I guess the threat is off. Nope. You safe now.
So so you can see that it was sold from 3900 Demuni LLC to South Fulton Rentals Group LLC for $0. So basically that it got deeded over to this anonymous entity. Now after that, on May 31st, right here, 2023, South Fulton Rentals Group LLC sold the property to Jay Morrison for $80. South Fulton Rentals Group LLC sold the property to Jay Morrison. What is that? Almost 10 months later for $80. In other words, he sold the property to himself, right? So you can see South Fulton Rentals Group LLC now grants this property to Jullien Morrison. I don't remember any of this being disclosed, that the fund was acquiring property that included Jay Morrison's personal residence. So now let's go back and look at the lies in the SEC filing, okay? So it says in July of 2022, the company invested $960,000 for 2 adjacent properties in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? The company, which is Treff, never owned both properties.
See, here we go. They said in July the company, and from said 900, approximately $960,000. Now we seen one was 850 and one was 150. That's $1 million. What's this? Approximate is for who knows.
3900 Demooney LLC owned the 25 acres with the house, and then Treff only owned the 5 acres for $150,000. Secondly, the company Treff never sold one of the 25 acres lots for $875,000 because it never owned it to begin with.
Then, right here, it says the company. The company never owned it. We saw the documents. The documentation was that the 3900 Demooney was owned by LLC, which was the manager and organizer and creator who owned it. The LC was J. Morrison, not true. And then they said he sold it. Where did you see he sold it? There's no record of it. We saw the 2-1 was Nero or yellow for $80, not $175, what she's claiming. Oh, but I'm about to show you something that's gonna blow your mind. He, as in J. Morrison, provided what he called proof. I'm not to show you that proof.
There he goes.
All right. 11.5 million raised.
Yes, sir.
I think the brother asked, you said it's about 500,000 left?
Yep, so 500,000.
What assets currently does the fund own?
The fund owns the Legacy Center. It owns the Demooney Annex property, 5 acres here. It owns the 27 acre of development rights. It owns also a property we have to foreclose on in Cincinnati. I think those are, and maybe one other asset, but those are the assets that it owns currently.
That's about how many?
Let's say 3 or 4.
3 or 4 properties.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 5 years, that's the only assets we've been able to accumulate.
We've also accumulated 98 units of housing in Macon that we were defrauded on by E.J. Hawkins that we have a judgment against. So we accumulated that. We were defrauded by.
So we say defrauded. Monies from the fund went out to this individual for that product that never came back?
Correct.
Gotcha.
He didn't perform. He didn't report properly. It's all in our filing, and we have a judgment against him that we won.
How much was that? Roughly?
I don't have the number top of my head. I don't want to disclose. Mm-hmm.
Sure, good. I ain't pressing about the house and all that, but my question is, with this property, it's 32 acres, 27 acres is owned by the fund?
The fund owns 5 acres and has exclusive development rights for lifetime, perpetuity on 27 acres.
So it doesn't own the...
It does not own the land.
Doesn't own the land.
It does not pay the carrying costs for the land, but has all the rights to develop the land.
Got rights, but no land. How long, how much with 500,000 and how burn rate going, how long before it's out of bread?
It depends on how our revenue's coming in. So, right, we can't give a accurate number.
Gotcha.
Right? Because there's different monies that come in every single month. There's houses, there's loans that we have. So you ask what we own. We also have loans out as well.
Gotcha.
So there's loans that come out that get redeemed. When someone pays a loan off, we get that capital back. There's a legacy center and the revenue it makes and fluctuates monthly, but it's stabilizing going upwards. So all those things affect the burn rate. But we absolutely must continue the mission, absolutely must raise capital.
I feel you. All I got to say is this, man. Jay, so 5 years later, a lot of people put their money in. A lot of people leave you, myself, believe in you.
Yes, sir.
I want to be in myself. On the story that initially that we supposed to have some of similar fabric coming from a similar background. You know what I mean? So that's
understood.
I had no issue, throwing a couple dollars up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people did because of that. So after 5 years, $11 million down. I hope you understand how people look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, where all this money went, man? You know what I mean? And trying to get an understanding, sophisticated, not sophisticated, we just went with the bro because we thought he had the leadership, or believe he has the leadership to take this to where we need to go. My dude, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I ain't got no more questions. Thank you for your time and for
answering. Do you mind staying right there for a second? Can we dialogue? And you could keep it 100 with me. Do you believe that I gave my best efforts in this environment of everything that you already know the fund has been going through since the time you've been a part of it, my best efforts to make this happen?
I don't know what your efforts were, so I can't say.
I'm just asking what you believe. It could be no, and I won't be offended. It could be yeah.
Nah, personally, yeah, I'm gonna say no, but I don't know. That's me making an assumption because I'm not here with you day to day to see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I ain't trying to get in my situation, but my little brother and I, we just grabbed up, piecing together real estate information. We bought 3 properties. We squeezed together $60,000 from people we never thought would be able to have that. We bought 3 properties via tax deed situations and auctions and negotiating that, and they're now worth $600,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what us not having no money. We ain't have $11 million. So I do know what would have been done and what potential if we had access to $11 million. So I'm not even gonna put that on you or answer that in that way, brother. I don't know what you have.
No,
you know
that's the perfect answer, King. You know why? I understand why everybody don't understand. Because if I didn't sit in this seat, I'd be thinking like you. I'd be thinking like, yo, bro, I'm from where you from? 11 million and what? Well, King, reporting back, live from the only one that we know been in this seat, right? Is that facts? Anybody we know been in this seat?
Nah, that I know of.
So reporting back, being 100, what I'm telling you is that it's not just real estate how everybody trying to simplify the real estate.
Did you hear what he just said? That it's not, did you hear that? It's not just real estate. Tulsa Real Estate Fund is not just real estate, but that's a big portion. That's a huge portion. Oh my God, this guy. Wow.
All right, scratch. Take all those fees away. Take all these things away. All right, we got $2 million. You know what I'm saying? What assets do we got? What cash flow coming in? And that's where my mind is at.
No, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if people gave me $60,000, I ain't lose $1.
But you also didn't have the operations, and you also didn't. Dang, those 32 deals right there was funding. Listen, we just dialoguing.
I'm dialoguing, but we dialoguing, bro. I'm shutting anything that's costing. I'm shutting it down. All this money that's costing us to tapping into doing this business and all these. All right, y'all gotta go. I'm sorry, it ain't working. We cutting y'all out because we gotta make sure these people get their money. You know what I'm saying? We got to put this into something. So that's where I'm at with it. I would have deaded any extra expenses or reduced them drastically. You know what I mean? To the point where at this moment, you're the one standing here answering questions.
Correct.
You're the one going through all of this stuff. Man, all these people could have just been you controlling all of this and not having all these expenses.
If I was just controlled, first of all, that applause is warranted. I'll own that. Back in hindsight, I would have fired a lot of people a lot sooner. In COVID, your families, your whatever, black, all that, you gotta go.
Okay, do you see what he said? Right, this point? It could have just been you. Well, technically, it is just him because where is his team? Where is his name? Where he keeps saying, well, I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I don't know numbers. Where's your accountant? They should have been. I mean, seriously, where's your action acquisition manager? They should have been there. Think about it as a business owner. I spent all this money on the team and running it, but where are they? I'm sorry. If I'm running a fund and I'm paying you fine, we're gonna change your hours. You don't come in at 8 a.m. today. You come in at 6 p.m. so you can be sitting here and answering these questions. I mean, seriously. Come on, man, this is crazy, this is crazy. All right, carry on. Did you catch what he just said, that he will fire people and see how he threw that in COVID? And their families, he's trying to pull on those heartstrings. There was a thing called PPP loan, right? That you could apply for that to get funding, right? To help pay for your employees, right? I'm just saying there was options out there for legitimate business. Heck, there was option out there for known legitimate business. So this guy, he got more excuses than anything. I see why he was a drug dealer. I see the dude got more excuses than anything. I fell for it thinking he changed, thinking he, a redemption story, because that's the problem. I understand some people do go to jail. Some people come out and need that belief, and we gave it 15,000 investors gave that in belief, and look where we at now. Said it, yeah.
I think this gentleman said you transferred the property or sold a property yourself for $80?
Not from the fund, King. Mm-hmm. The fund made $25,000 on the investment and kept the rights. After the fund had their $25,000 under 60 days.
You telling me about rights, bro? We don't got the land.
You let me finish? Right, we're building. The fund wasn't in the capital position to be able to maintain the land and the carrying cost, right? It wasn't in the capital position. So being creative, we restructured the financing so the fund could still maintain the rights to the land, to develop the land, and get the money from the land and make $25,000 without the carrying cost of the land and all of its capital back in under 60 days with $25,000 on top. Okay,
I got you on that.
Okay, so we just building.
Right.
We just building. I ain't trying to fast talk you.
No, you ain't fast talk, baby. We good.
Okay, I just want to be clear. And I'm taking ownership that there's decisions as manager in 5 years as an entrepreneur that I could have made better, y'all. I could have. When the pandemic happened and we opened this, and we had a beautiful business plan. I'm telling you, I really believe it would have worked. We would have cashed out here. I didn't know how to face the pandemic. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
With disrespect, buy real estate, man. Buy some real estate. Take the money, buy some real estate.
What?
Transactional funding. Do these different things that are being done. And that you say, my dude, God bless. Man. Thank you for answering these questions.
I'm talking about staff stuff.
Coming out good, man.
Yeah. You did your thing. You waited patiently.
What you could have done is, you could have bought the property, the 3900 Damone Drive, bought the property and truly, Treff LLC. You could have refinanced it, did a cash out refinance. You could have had the cash, so did a cash out refinance. And for the mortgage and a carrying cost, what you could have done since you want the land so badly, you could have leased it. Leased the land from Treff, from Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and the amount that you're paying or would be paying for the lease or the rental amount that could have covered the mortgage payment and that could have covered the carrying costs. That's called similar to what they call a DSCR loan, a debt service covered ratio loan. So that could have had the cash on hand and it could have had the monthly revenue from you paying Treff and the lease amount for the property that could have covered all that. And that could have solved your problem, solved your interest if you were trying to do things legitimately, if you were trying to do things the correct way. And since Treff owned the land still, they could have developed it when they want it, how they want it, had the cash, as well as had the monthly revenue or the cash flow of you paying the lease or paying the rent. And you would have been straight. That would have been better. That would have been covered more than what you did. Wow. And I'm not a 20-year real estate mogul like you. And I figured that out.
What's up, Jay?
Peace, King.
My name is Joe Stone. I'm here from the Church of Joe Stone podcast. I'm not a real estate guy. I'm a social media guy. I've held off on making a video about you, even though it would have been profitable. And it would have been profitable. I hop on the train, but I didn't yet.
It came up,
and I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak for yourself. And since we're in the same town, I see you face to face. So my first thing I wanted to ask you was, and I think one of the gentlemen here asked if the land got developed. He asked you if you would be personally enriched, and you said no, correct? Because the land is developed and it becomes worth 10, 20, 30, way more than it was before. Then now you are the owner of all this equity that the company built into the land, correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's what the development rights are for.
I'm saying, but you would still own the land. So even though the company can develop it, if the land becomes more valuable, you're the one that holds that value, not the company. I could be wrong. I'm just asking.
Once we get into the development phase of breaking ground and going vertical, that land that we own is now contributed to the larger development. Right, so that land.
You see how he didn't ask the question directly. He owns the land, he owns the property, he owns the land. Trev Real Estate Fund may own the development rights, which means they can develop on the land. They can build on the land and develop it into parking lots, develop into apartment buildings, develop into anything. And we all know once you develop into something like that, is worth more money than just the vacant land delaying itself is worth more money. So you see what he did. He started babbling about, will she go vertical once go the bottom? The question was, you says you own the land. If the land becomes more valuable, that means you increase your wealth because you own the land, really. And he trying to spend, this is what he trying to spend. So he do all this talking and try to get you out of your original question and talk around it and dance on it. That's exactly what he's doing.
So you would charge the company a fair value for that land once they choose to develop it?
Yeah.
So the investors have to hope that you would be fair when it comes time to do that and not charge an unfair amount of money, right? That's the idea?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
I have to believe that I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the fund, as I have been.
I mean, that sounds good, but you personally own it. So, I mean, and I'm not saying it's a question of character and integrity, and I'm not saying you don't have it, but what I am saying is that's asking a lot of your investors who didn't necessarily they agreed to let you manage it, but they didn't agree to let you have 27 of these acres. You get what I'm saying?
Let's back it up, Joe.
Good, fair enough. Go.
The land is not land that Treff paid for.
So you didn't buy from Treff?
No, I did buy from Treff.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I bought from Treff, recapitalizing Treff. Treff got all of its capital plus a profit.
So 25,000. And also, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the 25,000 sounds a little crazy, because when we're talking about a development like this, and we're talking about the type of potential income, because you're investing in this land because of and I'm not a real estate guy, I'm just a common sense guy. When you're investing in the land, I'm guessing it's because you understand the potential value as a company, right? So you're investing in this land because you believe deep down that it's going to be worth 10, 20, 30x over the next, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever. But now you own control of that. You gave yourself control of that. Now the company has to hope that, you do business in the correct way moving forward, right?
Let's slow down.
Fair enough.
Right? So the fund has the exclusive development rights to the land to benefit from all that upside that you're mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
What I have done is allowed the fund to benefit from that, because this takes time. This is a year since that purchase. The fund has paid no carrying cost in that entire year of mortgage, insurance, maintenance, taxes, and won't for any of the years.
It sounds a little crazy when we're talking about $11 million fund. We're talking about this much real estate, and it's such a big part of the portfolio. And the people involved didn't have an opportunity to vote on this. And you are the sole controller of it. And it's like you personally own it. You don't am I tripping, y'all? I'm the only one that's okay. Just making sure I ain't tripping.
Let's talk through that.
I could be wrong. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm just asking questions that I just think that because it just seems like if I was you guys, I would be a little frustrated about the fact that this happened. And you're saying we control 27 acres. No, we don't. You control the 27 acres. Because if you set the price too high, right, and Treff can't afford it, what happens then?
But why would I set the price too high?
Why would you give yourself the 27 acres? The $11 million fund can't cover the landscape costs?
Bro.
I can't cover the landscape costs and the mortgage? That was a bad investment. I'm sorry. Y'all being really nice to him because y'all friends. And I like you. You my nigga. I like you. My bad.
You use that word here.
Yeah, my bad. You my king.
Listen. Iron sharpen iron. I'm cool with the iron sharpen iron.
Cool. Let's go.
But you taking it out of context.
Okay, let me shut up. I'm gonna let you talk.
All right. You can still build up.
Okay, go ahead.
Concept. Mm-hmm. So the fund is benefiting, right, from these development rights from the land. You're saying, but you control the land, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
King, I'm the manager of the fund, right? I got our fund all of its capital back based on our capital, but we were an $11 million fund at this acquisition.
Okay, fair enough.
Right?
Okay.
So look at the context. So you easy to throw that $11 million out there. I just said we're sub 500,000 and must raise capital, right? I just said that.
But not at that time. Correct.
Not that time. But we were not in a capital position to carry this land. So if I got us all our capital back, so we continue to operate and move forward, and still got us the land, King, I gave the fund the layup. Opportunity for us to develop and pull this together, King.
And also, this is another question, and this is another topic or another. Let's change it a little bit. Did he answer? Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that answer. And it's really not for me. It's for them because I didn't invest. I wish at the time I believed in you, and I can't say I do, but I did at the time, and it hurt my feelings because I wasn't in a financial place to invest. Now it wouldn't be a thing, but at that time it was. So it kind of hurt my feelings that I couldn't be a part of this. So to see it, become this it's even more saddening, more heartbreaking. But what I will say is this too: you spoke about your family. You spoke about how the taxing you've been brutal, and that you were trying to protect your family by moving things around. And also you were a fund manager and you have fiduciary duty. And you also spoke to the fact that you have a higher level of accountability because of what we've seen in the Black community with the churches and other people taking advantage of the Black dollar. do you think that, looking back in hindsight, that it was foolish to involve any type of personal residence, family business involved with trust at all? Because now you having to answer these questions, and it does let you look bad. It makes the fund look incompetent and bad, because we're having this, like you say, it's just bad press. Do you think that now that decision was foolish and you shouldn't have involved your personal residence at all with any of the fun stuff? Because I feel like a lot of these people probably would feel better if it was separate. Like, I wouldn't want your personal residence involved in our, like, if it was our business. Like, that seems like that's creating murky water, and now you have to answer these questions, and it puts you and the fund in a bad position. So I'm just asking, do you think that was a bad idea, looking backwards?
No.
Okay, I'm done with that. I couldn't take it anymore. So what I'm going to do now is just show you the documents that he sent. Now, all these original videos you can check out on Jullien Gordon's page. I will have the link and inscription below, just so you can look at this and view first if it's 3 hours for this or the one with Jay Morrison at the town hall meeting. The other one I think is like 48 minutes. So I'm gonna put the link in the box in the description below so you can go and check them out in full detail. And what I want to do is just go over the documentation, that Trump Real Estate Fund sentence. Remember, he kept saying, "Why I seen some proof." Seems to prove this is the proof he sent now. What you're gonna see is, well, let's just say it's amazing, so here's the information, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. But look, this is the stuff that he has. They just talk about who you own it. Yeah, now he keeps saying good morning, this whole holy subsidiary, but we saw proof that it wasn't. We saw it. So I don't understand. He just think I'm just gonna say things and y'all gonna believe me. We did that and look where it got us. So let's go down to these are the questions asked. I may have this link and in the bottom, so you can take a look at these documents for yourself and see he says it right here. He keeps saying, but we saw that it says why there was a question is why did you sell it on August to South Fulton Real Estate Group for $0? He says not accurate. Where is the proof that you sold it? Now again, he said is not accurate. Okay, fine, show me this. $875,000. Show me that. Show me on the HUD-1 statement. Show me on a seller disclosure. If you utilize the A mortgage, show us where that amount is getting paid to traffic. That's what you're looking for. That's what we're looking for. So I'm about to go down. This is the questions and stuff. He's just going to put them out there. And this is one of the things that he keeps trying to say now. See this right here. Hold on. See if I can get closer where up there. Now see, this is the seller statement. Again, this is what, when you close on a property, highlight one statement, settlement statement she disclosed. You need some legal documents saying this was purchased by third party, that they have no dog in a fight. Whether they're on the seller or buyer side, they in the middleman and they're recording this. And actually we started stated in July. That's when those purchased by DeMooney ILLC for not $850,000. We see that, and that's fine. We see it. We see change, and turn those the sellers. Remember, we saw that, we know that. We got that great, awesome, perfect. You see, this is what he did. You see that. This is a S. Fulton Real Estate Group. This is a real estate purchase agreement. He's putting that up there, but this is just a purchase agreement. Anybody's been in any real estate. You can write personal agreement. They may or may not get accepted. You may or may not even close on it. But this is what this is. This is a purchase agreement. I could write up a purchase agreement to say anything. I can write a purchase agreement sale. It for $2 if you never closed, and we both can sign. But if never get to closing, it doesn't matter. But this is what he's saying. And again, somehow he purchased it through a refinance. I don't know, how can you purchase something or refinance? Okay, and then the buyer is a TSO who's TS. Again, look at this, South Fulton Real Estate Group. September 20th, 2022. Now, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Hold on, that says September 20th, 2022. It was August. Hold on, let me look at that again. Just like I thought this was August 19th, 2022. August 19, 2022, and you can see, let me pull, it's right there. This says September 20th, that's a whole month later. This person agreed that, how you gonna buy a property? Oh my, wait, look at this. This guy is giving fake documents, look at this. Do you see that? Look at that right there. This is edited after because the dates are wrong. This is September. We saw those purchases in August. Hold on, I'm do a side by side. And so this dude it's worse. It's worse than I thought. Look at that. It says purchase Gravy Man on September 20th, 2022. But somehow this is recorded. This was at the state of Georgia, that it was recorded on 19th of August. That's a month before this, and you don't see nothing in here in September of 2022. So this guy, man, he going to jail. He going to jail. He going to jail. He going to jail. Look at that. He's going to jail. Wow. So and then who is this TS and who is this? Who are these people? TSS is Trevor Smith, he's the buyer. And then Jay Morrison is the seller. But he just said Tulsa Real Estate, right? But Tulsa Real Estate never owned it, man. This guy. I'm sorry, but as you see, whereas the seller disclosure you see up there, you here. If he has a settlement statement, where is settlement statement? For this one, he don't have one. Why don't you have it? Because he didn't sell it. He just quit claim deed. That's what that's not. That's quit claim deed. That's what that is. That's not sale. The other one said you. But see, look at the bottom, what it says. Deed type, limited warranty, QC. Quick claim and limited warranty are different. Now, as I close out, I just want to say this message, Jay Morrison. You need to get your stuff together. You may not even see this. You may not even care. But this was horrible. I'm sorry. This video went longer than I thought. What I want to do is just highlight just that one property that he said. That Treff didn't purchase it, but then it turns out that they did. So listen, the bottom line is this guy has been doing things unethical, illegal, and been scamming. They call him Robin Hood of the Hood, but is he robbing the hood? Two different things, so again, I'll leave all the description, the links to the original videos, and the description. Thank you for stopping in. Don't forget to like and share. Put this out there. And yeah, I did file a complaint with the SEC. I had told you before. I am an investor, and this is treasonous now. For those people like Dr. Boys Rocking that say, hey, you don't do that to black. Excuse me. You only do it to black, but you're not doing it to the white companies and all that. I mean, really, man, that's one of those arguments when people say, hey, the Democratic Party didn't do anything for black people. Then people say, well, you just said about the Republicans. My thing is this, if you're supposed to be for our community, and you said you're gonna do this for our community group economics, and then you take it to profit yourself for life, he said it that Tulsa Real Estate Fund has the right to develop it. So, I mean, once you develop it, it's worth more. He owns it. He owns the land. And then secondly, you saw the crazy, ridiculous, purchase agreement that was created a month after it was already quit claim deed into that LLC. But now you got a document a month later. It's like, you've been a real estate investor, you say, for over 20 years in this. You do that really, man? And then you have this Trevor Smith. Who the heck is that? That person owns that LLC. But no. You said you did the South Fulton real estate. You said you own that. This is crazy. It is. Either he think we're completely stupid, dumb, or he think he can just out talking. And then when you turned around and said, hey, we need to raise more capital, who won a world is going to raise capital with you, who's going to give you any more money? Wow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, so please, tell me what you think. I'll put a link in the description box. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by and rocking with me. If you like what you heard, take the time to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, it's free. If you want a subject discussed, and grow this channel by leaving a comment below. Check you out on the next video. Stay vigilant.